A little cool front is on the way, and with it comes a chance of rain. Let's talk about it in this Thursday edition of the Texas Weather Roundup. Hi, y'all, and thanks for tuning in. This is Thursday, 31st July 2025. It's the last day of the month before we start off what is typically the hottest month of the year for us in the great state of Texas. And a little foreshadowing, it's going to be stinking hot next week. But before we get into that unpleasantness, let me go ahead and give you a big old thank you for popping on in today and taking time out of your busy schedules to hear a little bit of rambling from good old Baldy in Chief. And with that, we do appreciate you picking us for your source of Texas weather information. If you haven't already, please feel free to hit that like button. And if you haven't, click subscribe to get notified when we publish new daily Texas weather forecasts and have live severe weather coverage and updates. It's all free. And by the way, if you're a Spinny Doomer or Super Duper member, be sure to pop on in here at 8:30 p.m. Central Time, Friday, the 1st of August. We're going to be doing a live evening special weather briefing, Q&A discussion, and more, so feel free to pop on in for that. Heading on into the weather forecast. Guess what? We are looking at a pretty busy, active Thursday into Friday. The possibility of scattered showers and thunderstorms as a weak cool front moves into the northern third of the state before stalling out this evening tonight. For today, tonight, and especially tomorrow, we're going to see a lot of thunderstorm activity across several regions of Texas. Now, that doesn't mean you're guaranteed to actually get rain, but some of y'all could pick up a quick 2 to 3 inches of rain in localized areas, meaning there is the possibility of isolated flash flooding, but widespread flash flooding and widespread severe storms are unlikely. Some of the stronger storms could produce gusty winds over 45 miles per hour, pea to dime size hail, and of course, dangerous cloud-to-ground lightning. And it's that time of the day, ladies and gentlemen, where I get to say, when thunder roars, get your keister indoors. All right, thank you very much. And of course, turn around, don't drown, and flood out your vehicle. All right, so guess what? Yeah, storms. So, storms will be most numerous during the afternoon, early evening hours. Heading into Friday night, Saturday morning, we may see a cluster of storms move into the Panhandle in West Texas from New Mexico. Fire weather outlook for the next several days from the Texas A&M Forest Service. Today and tomorrow, we're looking at moderate fire danger across a good chunk of the state. Low in the Panhandle, high in the Big Bend, the Trans-Pecos, into the borderland of far west Texas. A little lower risk on Saturday across most of the state with low to moderate fire danger. Overall, we're doing quite well as we enter August. Here's the upper air pattern from the European weather model looking over the next week. This is around 18,500 feet above sea level. The geopotential heights, this is a fancy meteorological way of saying we're looking halfway up the atmosphere jet stream level, and this is an easy way for us to show you where the heat dome is located and if it's weakening or intensifying. Well, today it's weakened and off in the southwestern United States, which is why we have a weak northwesterly flow aloft, which has allowed that weak cool front to push into the northern third of Texas over the next 36 hours. As we go into the weekend and early next week, the heat dome gets revenge and intensifies and begins to shift back east. And it goes from little to heat dome version. And yeah, if I can ever emulate that again, I'll be happy to, but if not, well, congrats. That's why you watch these random videos on days where you wouldn't normally watch the videos. It's going to get hot. Heat dome reestablishes itself next week across the state, and guess what? It's going to feel like August. It's going to behave like August, too. Here's the long-range American weather model. Global forecast system taking us over the next week. Guess what? Here's a look at Saturday. Pop-up showers and storms continue southeast Texas, the coastal plains, and the Panhandle. We may actually see a cluster of storms try to move southeast both Saturday and Sunday nights. That could actually bring some storm chances to parts of northwest Texas, Texoma, North Texas, the Big Country, in addition to parts of West Texas and the Panhandle. That's something we're going to have to watch for. We may actually have some stormy mischief to discuss. Heading into Monday, you could see maybe some isolated storms, North Texas, East Texas, the Brazos Valley, Southeast Texas, if this model is correct. And, well, that's a big if. A lot of this will simply depend on the strength of the upper-level heat dome, its exact location, and if we have any boundaries left over from prior day storms. But going into Tuesday and Wednesday, you could see this model is much less active in the thunderstorm department, outside of maybe some isolated pop-ups in the Panhandle and the Golden Triangle of far southeast Texas. That is the name of the game. Tropical weather-wise, Atlantic, Caribbean, and Gulf remain quiet as could be, but that is unlikely to continue past the 2 to 3 week mark. At some point, just like last year, we're going to get active, in all likelihood, unless it's one of those magical years where somehow we don't. But even if it is, guess what? It only takes one to make a very, very bad situation. Pacific, on the other hand, is going haywire. We have Iona, southwest of Hawaii. We've got a little orange thingy southeast of Hawaii. That could become a tropical system. We have newly formed tropical storm Gil, well west of mainland Mexico, and then in its wake, another one's going to develop. So the Pacific's having a hoopla of a party right now. And at some point in August, we'll probably see things reverse. The Pacific will quiet down, the Atlantic will fire up. At least that's how it typically works. High temperature forecast for today. Guess what? Panhandle only 70s. Ooh, look at that. Highs in the 70s for the last day of July. Boy, y'all are lucky. 79 in Amarillo, 78 in Dalhart. Everyone else, I'm sorry. Little compressional heating in North Texas. 103 to 104 across the DFW Metroplex. 100 in Wichita Falls. We're looking at 101 in Longview, Marshall, Tyler, and Texarkana. 99 in Houston. Could be 102 to 104 in Waco. We're looking at about 101 to 102 in Austin down through San Antonio, Del Rio. 104 in Laredo, 101 McAllen. We're looking at about 95 in El Paso, 98 in Sanderson, 99 in Pecos, about 96 to 97 in Odessa and Midland. Heading into Friday, about a little warmer in the Panhandle, but still 80s. 91 in Lubbock, 84 in Amarillo, 89 in Childress, 91 in Wichita Falls. We're looking at about 96 to 97 in DFW, so about a 6 to 8 degree temperature drop. Not that it matters much, but hey, you know what? You take your victories when you can. 94 in Texarkana, about 96 to 97 in Tyler out to Longview. We're looking at about 98 in Lufkin and Houston, 96 in Beaumont, about 99 to 101 in Corpus Christi, down to McAllen, 105 in Laredo, so y'all definitely don't cool off, 101 Del Rio, 95 in El Paso, 94 to 96, Odessa to Midland. Heading into Saturday, start warming back up across western parts of the state. Back into the 90s we go, triple digits along and south of Interstate 10 across South Texas, down into the Rio Grande Plains. We're looking at upper 90s, Central Texas, up into the Concho Valley, Big Country, Hill Country. Coolest areas actually looking to be the northeastern Texas Panhandle and the Arklatex. Highs in the upper 80s. That's over a 10-degree temperature drop compared to today. So enjoy it. That's actually pretty stinking nice for August. Because, well, guess what? It's not going to last. Sunday, triple digits galore infiltrate West Texas, the Big Country, the Permian Basin, far West Texas. We're looking at 101 to 105. In much of those areas, we're looking at mid to upper 90s along I-35 from the Red River down through DFW. Waco, Austin, triple digits. San Antonio, 106 in Laredo. And then on Monday, it gets worse out west. We're looking at 107 in Pecos, about 104 in Sanderson, 105 in Fort Stockton, 103 in El Paso, 98 in Lubbock. Eastern half of the state, it's not as bad, honestly. Highs upper 80s, low to mid 90s, but it's going to be humid, so the heat index will probably feel pretty atrocious as well. 106 Laredo, about 103 in McAllen. So guess what? Western half of the state, you're going to be scorching next week, and that'll probably spread a bit east into Tuesday and Wednesday. So enjoy the less hot weather while you can. Here's the longer range climate prediction center outlook, and for the first week of August, with that heat dome in place, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be hotter, and it's going to be a pretty big disgrace. Precipitation-wise, what you'd expect, because guess what? Well, The heat dome says no to rain. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. That's the third time I've said that in the last 30 seconds, so that clearly means it's time to wrap up today's video. Again, thank you for giving us some of your day. We appreciate it. I hope to see some of y'all tomorrow night during our live discussion, and of course, we'll be back tomorrow morning with the latest Texas weather roundup. We'll keep an eye on storms heading into this evening as well. You can always get your local weather forecast, interactive weather radar, daily Texas weather roundups, and more in the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app. Just search for Texas Storm Chasers where you download apps for your device. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you later. Have a great day, and God bless.